Hey, my name is Josh Coates, and I am a life coach, motivational speaker, and a virtual trainer for online entrepreneurs. I started working with Ed almost a year ago. When I came on with Ed, I was in a real crossroads in my business. I had gone through a divorce about a year and a half prior to that. And when I went through my divorce, my business had been at an all-time high. And then going through my divorce, I watched my business really struggle. At one point, almost completely bottomed out. By the time I ran into Ed, I'd spent about a year rebuilding, getting my business back to being confident, getting my sales back to being regular. But I was kind of at a crossroads in the sense that I hadn't really figured out how to get back to where I had been. It's like I had made a climb back halfway up the mountain, but I couldn't figure out how to get the rest of the way up the mountain. When I signed on with Ed, I could immediately tell he spoke my love language, which is a kick in the ass. If you're someone who just loves to be challenged, who thrives on challenges, doesn't want to talk about all the BS, but just wants to get down to things and get things done, that's the love language that I have, and that's immediately what he spoke. So it immediately called out to my soul. It immediately called out to my competitive nature. And I think that I realized that that's one of the things that I was missing in my business, is that I had not aligned myself with someone who was calling me out. As a life coach, as a business trainer, I'm calling other people out. I'm calling them out on their excuses, and I'm pointing out their blind spots. But I didn't have someone doing that for me. And so that's what Ed did for me. Ed started pointing out my blind spots. He started calling me out on my own shit so that I would get out of my comfort zone and start growing the way I needed to. And basically from the beginning, Ed came up with this plan for me. I talked to him about, hey, I'm trying to find a way to get back to the old Josh. And the real pivotal point happened when Ed gave me this challenge. He said, I don't want you to get back to the old Josh. We're going to create Josh 2.0. In other words, we're going to create a better version of Josh, not the same version of Josh. And we went down a process that we've spent the last 11 months together, creating Josh 2.0. And Josh 2.0, really the idea was I'm smarter than I was the first time. I may not be as young as I was the first time, but I'm smarter. I've learned more lessons. I have more value. I have more assets. So let's use those things to create a business that's better than the one that I ever had. So in this 1 year of working with Ed, I've launched a podcast. I'm about to release a new book. I've hired a new assistant. I had the biggest month I've ever had, actually crushed Josh 1.0 by 30,000. Basically, I beat my very best month ever by $30,000. So that's not too bad of a month. On top of that, my team and my structure is more organized. It's better put together. And then on top of that, here's the coolest thing that I wasn't really counting on happening. The game plan was get back to being just as good as old Josh was. Ed helped me to see that I could become 2.0, which means, you know what? Maybe I'm not Jordan in the early 90s, but I can be Jordan in the late 90s, still winning championship rings. But the crazy thing that happened is along the way, I actually somehow discovered what I'm now calling Josh 3.0, where I'm smarter than I used to be, but I've also found a new passion and energy that is above and beyond anything Josh 1.0 ever had. In the process of rebuilding, in the process of now having a vision for where I really want to go, having a new podcast, having a book coming out, my team growing, my sales growing. My sales are more consistent than they've ever been before. And now I'm finding this new passion, this new energy, like this electricity that is just flowing through my veins because it feels so good. Not to just be back where I was, but to be beyond where I was in a smarter way that costs me less money, takes me less time. So Ed, thank you for everything you've done for me and my business. I appreciate you.